What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and my new player progression playthrough for 2024. We just finished up Chaos 2. We are now at a champion score of 1123, and to get here, it took doing 3 Chaos 2 runs. As you see on our Dragonfall Explorer quest, we're now 5 maps into our progression. So we did 2 maps at Chaos 1, that gave us enough champion score to open Chaos 2, and then now, after we had to do 3 maps at Chaos 2, which gives us enough champion score to open Chaos 3. Now, the next milestone, or next goal, is going to be to get to 1740 champion score, and I'm hoping I can get there as quick as possible. As I've mentioned all the way through the thing, the new player questline is quite rewarding, so I'm following this new player questline directly. So I'm 5 maps in now. I've got 5 maps to go until this questline is complete, and then the next section of the questline, I believe, is going to be to do 10 Onslaught maps. Now, with this in mind, as far as your overall difficulty goes through the game, there's 2 real milestone tiers prior to getting to Chaos 8. And that is Chaos 2 is just a tough one. It's a challenge to break into. We just beat Chaos 2. Chaos 5 is the next big challenge. Now, since we're going to be going back and forth between Expeditions and Onslaught, before we switch over to the Onslaught quest, we want to get as high as we can, or I want to get as high as I can in Expeditions. That way I get a higher Onslaught floor unlocked. Now, I know this may sound confusing, but every expedition you do will unlock a particular Onslaught floor, and then additionally, the Onslaught floors, the gear that drops there is set. So no matter what, if you do this level Onslaught floor, you're going to get this level Chaos gear at this many upgrades. So with that in mind, going back and forth and going from this quest of complete 10 expeditions to the Onslaught quest, I could end up skipping a little bit of progression through the Chaos tiers. Now, we will use this much later when it comes to doing Ancient Power resets. However, for right now, my goal is, since the next Chaos difficulty that's going to be really tough is Chaos 5, I want to be able to skip that if possible, and I might be able to in Onslaught just by doing the quest line. But before getting into any of that, we got to get this Chaos 3 win. So we just finished our Chaos 2 map. Let's go ahead and clear out our inventory. We do have some shards to open up. So we've got 3 Chaos 1 shards. We got a Stunfire. There's that Cannonball shard I was looking for to help me break into Chaos 2. We got Shroom Doom, which is not going to be usable since we don't have a Dryad. And then Bots of Oil. Oop, I just sold the wrong one. If that happens, you do sell the wrong one. Of course, come back to your buyback tab and just buy that back, as that's one that I want to keep. So I'm just going to place that right there on my Cannonballs. That way I know I've got it. And then we got 3 Chaos 2 shards. Now, what I was really looking for there was another Destruction shard. Did not get it. Big bummers there. So we got Icefall. Not going to be usable for us. We got Sanctuary, which is not going to be usable for us. And we've got Power of the Night, which is not going to be usable for us. So we're going to dust all those. Save our dust up. And speaking of, we've only got 4 Chaos 1 shard dust. I do want to be able to roll for another Destruction shard. And then as far as Chaos 2 goes, there's not any really big must-have shards. I mean, obviously there's some helpful shards. Defense Critical Strike is a good one. Let's see what else we got. Inspiration is a good one, which we're actually going to get a free Inspiration shard here soon. Encroaching Flames is huge since we're doing these Flame Aura builds. However, I did not get an Encroaching Flames either. Taking a look at anything else. Besides hero-specific shards, there's nothing else really jumping out at me. So yeah, there's no real shards that I want to target in Chaos 2. So let's go ahead and jump into Chaos 3. We're going to be switching back over to auras. So we're going to be using Flame Auras, Lightning Strike Auras, and then some Skyguard Towers. Just kind of mix and match mods and relics here. I did put my destruction and defense rate on my flame aura. That defense crit damage is still unupgraded, and I haven't gotten any more shards for the other auras yet. So with this in mind, I'm still wanting to focus heavily on the flame aura. Taking a look through our Ascension, of course, this is a builder only. So in the utility category, we're going everything into defense crit chance until we get it maxed. In the defense category, we're going everything into defense speed till we get it maxed. Offense doesn't matter on the monk. I'm playing actively on the apprentice. So with that in mind, I'm trying to get this tornado duration up right now. I'm putting my first 20 points into it. The main things are your defense crit chance and then your defense rate, though. So anything else, you can kind of do with whatever you want with the Ascension. So once again, we're at a stage in the game where we're not really paying much attention to mods. We do have mods, but we're not really putting any major effort into any mod setups because it's a game of shards, so we're trying to get the best shards we can. So let's go ahead and pick out a map. What do we want to do for our first Chaos 3? Well, let's mix it up a little, so I'm not doing that forest biome the whole time. Another just really, really good map to do is the Jack Sparrow. I mentioned this one earlier, as there's just so much DU available. There's just an absolute ton of DU. Now, in this particular map, the enemy that we're facing is geodes. Geodes are going to be a large bubble enemy that are going to shield themselves and their friends from any projectile attacks. In addition to that, there are going to be vanguards back in play. With vanguards back in the mix and with geodes, we want to not use any towers that use projectiles. So that makes Flame Auras just an absolute perfect fit. Now, this particular map, it does get pretty hot and heavy with the flyers. I'm not really sure how bad it's going to be at Chaos 3, but you see there's 30 of them right here in Wave 1. So we do want to make sure we're set up for flyers. Let's just go ham. Let's go 5 Skyguards up there, just a ton of Skyguards. And then, as I mentioned, it is all about the auras. So we are going to be spamming it up with our auras throughout. Let's see. Let's just head all the way on down the lane. We've got so much DU. We get to the bottom of the stairs here, and then I'll go ahead and throw a wall in there. So we'll throw like a spike blockade in right there. And then additionally, we'll throw a few lightning strike auras in the mix as well. Now let's do the same thing over on this side. Just spamming it up all the way down the stairs. And then we'll throw that spike blockade right at the base of the stairs, something like that. And we'll go back to a few more lightning strike auras. Now, I used a ton of DU. The reason I did use so much DU is because I want to not pay attention to that lane, or at least not pay attention to it very, very much. We're going to come on over to this side. See, we got those geodes just rolling out in force. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to spam it up. Auras for days. Not enough range there to take advantage of another one right there, I feel like. And then we're going to bring that all the way up to, like, the top of the stair. We get to the top of the stair. We're going to go with 2 spike blockades. And then let's throw some of those lightning strikes in as well, just because why not? Something like that. And that's going to leave us 700 DU left. So we've got 350 DU per stairway, basically, to get the rest of this done. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a spike blockade, say, right there. And we're going to go with a bunch of auras going all the way down the stairs. Now, these, of course, how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them. So, of course, by building along the stair here, all of the lanes are convergent into that. And it's going to allow us to really get the job done. Now, besides those 8, let's go ahead and throw some lightning strikes in as well. Lightning strikes, of course, are good single target damage, even with crappy shards. The single target damage is pretty darn good still. And then over here on this lane, we are going to do the exact same thing. So let's go with a spike blockade like right there. And then we're going to spam it up all the way down the lane. Now, it's important to note as you play through these to pick up any relics you find. You know, relics are what's going to get the job done for you. This is a tower defense game first and a shooter second. So lots of people want to focus on their hero, and if you don't take the tower defense element in mind, you're just going to struggle, as it's not a game about heroes. It's a game about those towers. So there we go. We got it built out. We got 400 DU left. Since this lane is the one that we kind of want to ignore, I'm going to throw all of my upgrades into here. You know what? I don't want those flyers to give me too tough of a time, so let's go ahead and throw our last 3 upgrades into those Skyguard towers up top. Try to get a little bit more range. Now, as you get more destructions and more defense rates, you know, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. We do this exact same setup, destruction, defense rate, and defense crit damage on all of our defenses. Now, in addition to that, we're in Chaos 3 now, where Deadly Strikes is going to drop, and that's going to give us more range. And that is a super, super important shard to have. Let's take a look and see how things happen down here. Everything's pushing up to the wall, but it is dying, so dying is good. Do the best we can here to help out with these flyers. Just want to keep an eye out. This map is tough to read the mini-map, so it's hard to look at the mini-map and say, okay, things are going on here, I need to go to this area, as it's just a mess on the mini-map. But if we just keep in a nice solid rotation around the map, we're going to be able to see if anything is going astray anywhere. And so far for Wave 1, it's looking pretty darn good. Now, we still got 300 mobs left. Tons of enemies here. Chaos 3 is night and day different than it is breaking into Chaos 2. There's just no doubt about that. Chaos 2 is way, way harder than Chaos 3 is as far as getting the first win goes. Obviously, the enemies are higher scaled in Chaos 3. However, just with the balance of enemies versus the amount of damage you output, Chaos 2 is definitely one that is, in fact, I think it's the biggest challenge in the game prior to getting into Chaos 9 and 10. It just really is. Chaos 2, to me, it feels off. It feels like the enemies are stronger than what your strength level is. Obviously, you got to be using the correct type of defenses. But, oh yeah, Chaos 2 is a rough one. I'm just going to go ahead and grab all this mana. This was pretty much a super, super easy clap here. So, and I believe the rest of the map is going to go this way. So just to keep this video from being 17 days long, let's go ahead and bounce on forward to wave number 5. Now, I'm going to start off by upgrading or prioritizing upgrades the closest to the spawn as possible. I want to get as much damage in as possible right up front. Additionally, if you do have mobs making it to your walls at all, then of course throwing some upgrades there at your walls is going to be good as well. But we're pretty much just even upgrading. We're slapping them on the auras and calling it good. So let's jump on forward to Chaos 5 and see how this map ends out. And here we go into Chaos 5. It was real smooth sailing up till then. In fact, the only thing that's making it anywhere near walls are bosses. You see for wave 5 here, we've got a siege roller over here, and then we're going to have 2 bosses on that double lane down below. We got a skelly and we got a captain. So out of those mobs, the skeleton and the captain are going to be super slow walking. The captain, or pardon me, the skeleton and the siege roller are going to be super slow walking. The captain is going to move fast and he's going to hit hard. So we are going to want to play Wall Repair Simulator. We know that the captain's going to make it to these walls. So let's just get this area jacked up as best as we can. The captain will be here, no doubt, and we just want to prepare for it. Everything else is pretty much an easy clap. These lower lanes, nothing I mean, I didn't get any bosses down below, but nothing made it up the stairs at all. So didn't even have to look at any enemies throughout. So let's go ahead and let it fly. Remember, repairing your wall is greater than doing damage to the enemy. We got that Geode Prime rolling out. It's just going to get wrecked. Just going to kind of ignore that it's even there. Repairing your wall is just the king. It's greater than everything else. The amount of damage you do is going to be very small early in game, and by just keeping your walls repaired, you are going to allow your towers to do everything out there. Looks like our sky guards are handling the flyers up there, and let's just wait for these bosses to come. So the captain, like I said, 100% will make it to these walls. There's just no doubt about it. With that in mind, I mean, I could even grab up as much mana as I can and maybe get another upgrade in. We got the Siege Roller pop first. Here's the captain. Okay, so we want to get damage on the captain right away. And just make sure we are blasting that captain. You see he's doing good damage to the walls. We're doing good damage to him, though. We've got those auras jacked up all the way right there. Actually, didn't even have to do a wall repair, which is quite nice. Okay, so now we've got the Siege Roller up next. The Skeleton boss still hasn't popped out yet. He's going to be there right at the end. So we can come on up here and take a look at our Siege Roller buddy. Of course, Siege Rollers are all about the booty shots, so let's get our booty shots in there. The Siege Roller's not going to make the wall, I don't believe. I think we're going to be able to get him prior. Yeah, he might make the wall. Alright, Siege Roller down. You see our Plaguing Hawk? Our Plaguing Hawk is dead without us even doing anything. So, auras for the win. He didn't do very much to the walls either. Real light damage there. And there we go, y'all. Mastering Expeditions Chaos 3. So Chaos 3 is now complete. Let's jump on over to Tavern, though, and take a look at all this shiny fat loot we just got. Alright, so Chaos 3. Let's take a quick look here. We got some shards. We got another Chaos 1 shard. Now, first things first, we want to take whoever our mule is and give him the auto-equip gear. I've been going with the apprentice, but it's usually a good idea to go with a character you're not playing. That way you don't have to worry about what rolls on the gear, but I've been just playing through and not worrying about it anyway. So we auto-equip. That took us up to 1266. Didn't get a whole real far there at all. Now, taking a look at the relics. Did we get any really good relics dropping? That one's pretty good. It's an anti-orc. It's about 1,000 defense power upgrade over what I'm using. There's an anti-goblin. We definitely are going to want to throw something on our walls. Let's just start right there since we did get that legendary totem. Becomes a little bit of a no-brainer there on the walls. But what do we want to do here? We don't have, what is that, 5,400? It's actually a little bit better than this one. Let's use that one instead. Let's see. So we didn't have any medallions that were real standouts drop. I think the anti-orc and this anti-goblin are the best two out of everything that dropped here. Why don't we just replace these even across the board just to get the extra defense power. So the worst one will go on our Sky Guards. The second worst one will go on our Lightning Strike auras. And then the best one we'll put on our Flame auras. And that's how we're going to roll into our next map. But let's check out the shards and see what we got here. Destruction and a Deadly Strikes would be the absolute dream right here. Let's go ahead and start off with the Chaos 3. Betsy's Zapper, no love. Polearm Shard, I mean, I can keep it, but I'll probably never use it. And then Crane Stance. Now this is actually the most influential or impactful shard a monk can have for DPS. So this actually makes me want to consider maybe switching over to the monk, as that is such a huge shard. Let's just go ahead and get it equipped so it's out of the inventory. But that is going to get it for this episode. We still got a ways to go. We got to get to 1740 champion score. I I was hoping to actually be in Chaos 4 and have a Chaos 4 win before we completed this, but I don't think that's going to be realistic. I think it might take all of the remaining Dragonflaw Explorer Expedition runs to get in to Chaos 4. We'll have to see how that goes, though. I will keep you all posted. However, that is the first win as a brand new player in Chaos 3. So it looks real similar to the 2022 and the 2020 and the 2017 playthrough, y'all. This is one of the reasons I was hesitant not to do this series again, is I'm just doing the exact same thing over again. And the only difference is this new player quest line, really. So this will be a bit of an experience going through. So far, everything has been exactly as before, even after the stat squish. So exact same strategies, doing the exact same things. But that will do it for this time. So thank you all once again, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.